What's up, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you guys for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, please hit the subscribe button and notification button. And without further ado, before we jump into today's topic of discussion, let me apologize. I know this video is extremely late. This is the finale of the Love Series for 2022. Yes, I know it's March. I was supposed to get this out by February. But it's been a lot going on. Very busy with work, very busy with a whole bunch of other stuff going on right now. But I want to make a quick announcement before we get started. And of course, I'll make the announcement at the end of the video as well, just as a reminder. But there will be no Teachable Tuesdays for the next 2 weeks, okay? So this will be the last video that you guys will see for about 2 weeks. Going to be going on spring break very soon. And I'm going to be spending some time with my family. So, just want to take some time to kind of disconnect, recuperate, especially because I've been releasing a lot of content as of lately. But the next video that you will see after this one, unless you're just not going in order for whatever the reason may be, which is fine too, will be March 22nd. So that'll be the next time you will see a Teachable Tuesday video. I'm going to have a couple of visual updates that are going to make the videos look a lot better from here on out. So stay tuned for all that good stuff. Without further ado, today's topic has been changed. And I thought that, I've been dealing with a lot in terms of talking about relationships and, advice and what to do, what not to do, what looks good, what doesn't. But I wanted to talk to you guys about 5 things I've learned from my dating experiences. This is not a top 5. These are just 5 things that are coming from the top of my head. I don't have anything written down. I was thinking about some things this morning while I was on my walk/run. But without further ado, here are my 5 things that I've learned from dating and experiences and whatnot. So the first thing that I've learned about dating is that no one person is different. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking, well, duh, of course, right? Everybody is different. But I think we don't think about that in terms of how we approach people, how we try to relate to people, how we get to know people, and also how we go about just understanding people. No one person is different, okay? When women have met me, I have not necessarily been the same as the guys that they've, gotten to know in the past, and vice versa. The women that I've met is not the same as every other women. I mean, do some of them have like similar qualities and characteristics? Absolutely, of course. You're going to find that often in dating. But no one person is the same. Everybody likes or appreciates something different. Everybody has something different that they dislike. I'll give you an example. Let's use love languages, right? I've met women who love languages were very similar to mine. My love languages are physical touch and quality time, right? But I've also met women who hate physical touch as a love language. Their love language is more so maybe quality time and acts of service, or maybe gifts. When you're dating, it's very important early on to find out these things so you can see how you can incorporate different mindsets into the person that you're dating, or for the person that you're dating. That's not to say that you have to change who you are. So for example, if you're quality time and physical touch like myself, and somebody else's gifts and acts of service, y'all can sit down and talk and maybe have a conversation, and maybe meet in the middle and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I met a woman that I dated. We weren't dating for a long time. We went on a couple dates last year, and her love language was not physical touch. In fact, she was not affectionate at all, and that threw me for a loop because I'm a very affectionate individual with a woman that I like. So I had to adjust, and she had to adjust as well to what I liked and what she liked. And when I say adjust, that doesn't mean you're compromising in a bad way, but it means you're adjusting some of your mindsets, your vision, what you see in front of you, so that you can make the person that you get to know, the person that you get to know, to be like more of a pleasant experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing that I've learned from dating. The second thing that I've learned from dating is that long distance relationships can be extremely tough. Okay, I'm not saying they're impossible. My long distance relationship experiences have been a fail, but that doesn't mean that I don't know people who have dated long distance successfully. It has happened quite a bit more often than you think. Um, any relationship takes work, no matter what, right? We all know this. But dating long distance takes a lot of work. I'll give you three examples of three long distance relationships that I was in. The first one was when I was a teenager. I mean, some people say we don't count that, but whatever. Met a girl on MySpace. Yes, MySpace. I'm kind of dating myself here just a little bit. And she lived in Boston, Massachusetts. So she actually came to Baltimore, and we hung out at the mall for the whole weekend. And we decided after the weekend we would start dating. Yeah, teenager stuff, right? Crazy. We dated for about a month. She went back to Boston. I was in Baltimore, and we just messaged each other on MySpace one day and was just like, this ain't gonna work. Which obviously is not, because once again, going back to my love language, quality time, which was hers as well. And I mean, we didn't know this as teenagers, but we still stay connected. We're really good friends. And it was just like, well, I'm not gonna be able to see you that much, and it's a neutral thing. It was like, yeah, we can just call it quits. We could be friends. So that was my first situation. My second long distance relationship was with somebody that was actually from my same state, where I was born and raised in Maryland. And I will say that ended because that was on me. I was unfaithful. Yes, some men have moments where they're unfaithful, just like some women do as well. And I am not ashamed to admit that I made a bad choice, and I've definitely learned from it. You know what I'm saying? And then had another. I'm not gonna say this was a relationship, but it was a potential relationship. Now with this woman, it was all the way on a whole different coast. And those who've watched my videos before, I've talked about this briefly. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but of course that didn't work out just because it was circumstances beyond my control, and I wasn't the one that ended it personally. But hey, it happens, right? So I say all that to say, not to discourage anybody from long distance relationships, because I don't want anybody to be thinking, you tell me all this stuff, man. I don't know if I want to get in a long distance relationship. No, look. If you find somebody special and you find a way to make it work, make it work. I know people personally who are getting into long distance relationships currently, and they are very successful, but it takes a lot of time. It takes patience. It takes a whole lot of commitment, probably more than what you would do from your general relationships. And it takes some creativity, because you're not going to be able to be there with that person always. All right, moving on. So third thing that I've learned from my dating experiences is boundaries. Boundaries. And I'm going to be very transparent with you. This is something I'm still struggling with, right? Because I have a big heart. So I have a tendency to let people in more than what I should. But ladies, I hear you guys talk about boundaries all the time. And that's a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Now for my fellas, we need to start bringing up boundaries too. That's important. My fellas, we don't talk about it enough. The ladies do a very good job at addressing what they want in terms of boundaries and so on and so forth. Fellas, we don't do too great of a job at that all the time. I'm going to be honest. And a lot of times it's because we're go-getters. We have the mindset of, oh, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Fellas, we got to learn how to set some standards. Okay? And a lot of times we think setting standards is just not going after a type of woman that we don't find attractive, or this and that, or not settling for a woman that doesn't hold high value interest in us. And don't get me wrong, that plays a huge part. But there's other factors that you have to include in that. You know what I'm saying? Like the boundaries that you set as an individual, and this goes for both my fellas and my ladies, they are important and detrimental to not just your dating life, but your other areas of your life as well. You got to know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And yes, as I'm saying this, I also need to listen to my own advice, because I have a habit of continuously letting people in that I probably shouldn't. And that's a problem. That could be a problem, because if there's one thing I'm learning is, and I'll get to this point a little more in a second, but life and dating should not be a revolving door. If somebody didn't appreciate you the first time, why you continuously let them back in? And that's where the boundaries come in. Knowing when to say no, knowing when to not allow somebody to just do what they want to do to you because you feel lonely, or because You're just used to it. Like, no, put your boundaries in place up front, because at the end of the day, and I know this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. A lot of people are not going to like me for this comment, but you can't get mad at someone for not respecting your boundaries when you didn't lay out your boundaries in the first place. Now, granted, yes, there are obviously things that you shouldn't take too far morally as an individual, because you should know better if you have good standards and good morals. But as far as what you like versus what you don't like, we don't know that as people until it is addressed. And we cannot assume. As a man, I can't assume that a woman that I'm getting to know knows that I like this and doesn't like this if she doesn't ask or if I don't tell. And vice versa for my ladies. And I think there are some things that we just have to lay on the line on the front end, so that way it's aware and we just all know what's going on. All right. So boundaries are important. And fellas, we got to do a better job with that. I know I'm calling us out. I'm calling myself out too, being real. All right. The fourth thing that I've learned from dating is to have an open mind. It's okay for you to have your preferences. It's okay for you to have your standards. It's definitely okay for you to have your don'ts. Because I think that's very important. You got to have your don'ts. But be open to dating coming in different ways that you didn't expect. Okay? A lot of times we think dating is this Disney fairy tale and everything's supposed to fall in order. That's not how dating works. That's not how life works. That's not how God works. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to know, okay, this could happen with dating, that could happen with dating, and so on and so forth. So, make sure you keep that in mind. Just have an open mind to the types of people you get dating. I know, again, preferences. Like, I know for me, I'm going to be straight up. My preference is to eventually end up with, marrying a woman who's either African American or a woman of color, like, some Hispanic or Asian. But that doesn't mean I'm not open to other ethnicities and cultures. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if God sent me somebody that's for me, shoot, what if she's a white woman, or what if she's biracial, or whatever the case may be? So be it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have a closed mind to what God has for me. In terms of the type of woman that I'm dating. I think the only thing that would, for me, and this is of course going back to my preferences, I would prefer to date a woman who doesn't have kids, because I don't have kids. But again, open mind, and it's got to be a balance. You got to stick to your preferences, but also have an open mind to certain things to some degree. You know what I'm saying? So, and my fifth and final point that I've learned from dating is the revolving door, which I kind of touched bases on this earlier. And this kind of ties into the boundaries as well. But don't allow people to come back in and out of your life like it's a revolving door, okay? I know you might have strong feelings for somebody, or had strong feelings from somebody, and maybe you guys were in a relationship for a long time and things didn't work out. Maybe you really wanted a relationship real bad with this person, and you thought you wanted that first, and then you learned later on you really didn't want it. Regardless, that person is not at liberty to come around when they want to. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't respect you and appreciate you enough the first time around, then they don't need to come back around again. If things didn't work out between you two, regardless if it was your fault, her fault, his fault, both parties' fault, whatever the case may be, outside influences' fault, you have that right to be like, hey, I respect you. I appreciate you. I still got mad love for you. Do your thing, boy. Do your thing, girl. But you just can't do it here. Point blank, period. That's important. That's very, very important. So those are just my 5. I have so many more, but I really won't. Oh, last point. I'm sorry. This is a bonus one. Be willing to adjust. Okay. And this kind of ties into the first point just a little bit, but be willing to adjust, not just your mindset, but adjust the way you move. A lot of times in dating, we get so stuck in our ways because of our love languages, and we're so used to doing this. And then we begin to wonder, why are things not working? One of the reasons why things might not be working is because you might be limiting yourself based on your own perception. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Okay, good. Time's up. Like, for real, all jokes aside, though, you know, we limit ourselves oftentimes because of our mindset and because of what we're used to. Like I said before, what works well for one man or one woman may not work well for the next man or next woman. So if that's a person you really desire to be with, and it's funny because even as I'm recording this video, I'm having a conversation with a good friend of mine about this right now. How are you willing to adjust to get what you desire? Now, again, I'm not saying change who you are as a person. No. If you got to change your personality and it's not for the better, or your character, nah, don't even do it. But if it's something that can give you more of a positive light on the person you're getting to know, or just in general as a human being to prepare you for the person that you might meet one day, you know, go with it. You know what I'm saying? That's extremely important. All right. So, anyways, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the love series. Thank you guys so much for tuning into all of the videos. Greatly appreciate it. I think this is probably the most extended love series I've ever done in my, I want to say, 3 to 4 years of doing the love series. Keep in mind, in case you guys are wondering where the previous years, for those who are looking at this video, or maybe find this video later on, I just jumped on YouTube, I want to say 2020. So all this is new to YouTube, but as far as social media is concerned, I've been doing Teachable Tuesday since 2014. You know what I'm saying? So as always, I thank you guys for your continued support. I've noticed I have a lot of new subscribers, so I really appreciate it. My goal is to get to 100 by the end of the year. So if you could, like, share the video, share it on social media. You know, maybe this video was not for you, but I guarantee you it's for somebody that you may know. And like I said, once again, for the next 2 weeks, there will be no Teachable Tuesdays videos. We will be back on March 22nd. Hold on. Yep, I said it right. March 22nd. I don't know if I said that in the beginning. If I didn't, I apologize. But Tuesday, March 22nd, we will be back for another Teachable Tuesday video and some visual updates. Until next time, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. I love you. Hope you guys have a great day. See you guys soon.